Leading researchers and press organs in Austria have been putting out word that the country is in the clutches of the Mafia. Is it true? We start out with this simple question: Gerät Österreich in die Fänge der Mafia? The question is posed in the newspaper Der Standard, which is, with its significant media presence in both print and online outlets, perhaps the most modern media group in all of Austria, as we see from their lovely HQ building, the Haus an der Wien. Jürgen Roth is a great Mafia researcher, and he says, das Fragezeichen in der Eingangsfrage können Sie getrost durch ein Rufzeichen ersetzen. That is to say that, yes, absolutely, Austria is definitely in the clutches of the Mafia. And one of the main reasons for this is that if they need banking services, Raiffeisen is available. In this screenshot from their website, we see, wir sind jederzeit für Sie da, schnell, unbürokratisch und unverbindlich. They're quick, and there are no nasty formalities involved in their services. They're there to help at all times. And the Mafia godfathers, or Paten, were quick to take advantage of Raiffeisen's willingness and quick and unbureaucratic services. In den Geldwäsche-Skandal der Telekom Italia waren 14 Auslandsbanken involviert, 12 davon aus Österreich. Because, quite simply, Raiffeisen's reputation in Eastern Europe as a bank with more lenient compliance and a willingness to cut deals made it the go-to lender for numerous oligarchs wishing to move money westward, says the Kiev Post. In fact, in Austria, according to Der Standard, Mafia structures go back 40 years. Mafiose Strukturen in Österreich und Deutschland gibt es seit 40 Jahren. As we see from a recent case when banks in Austria were used to launder about 2 billion euros for the Italian Mafia between 2005 and 2007, the Austrian Weekly Profil reports, citing Rome prosecutors. According to prosecution documents, the money was laundered through 14 accounts at Raiffeisen, who has this quick and unbureaucratic service headed up by, among others, Dr. Gernot Erna, Vorstand, Ingo Madlener, and Dr. Wolfgang Zumtobel, who are all quite happy to help their customers from foreign countries. The Italian businessmen that do business at Raiffeisen like to call themselves the Raiffeisen Club. Not surprisingly, to serve them better, Raiffeisen offers a WhatsApp service for these club members. Fortune magazine advises that Facebook's WhatsApp is accused of allowing pedophiles and gangsters to operate beyond the law, which is exactly what happens in Austria with the Raiffeisen Club. Bialo.at is the Finanzportal für Österreich, and they advise that die Mafia hat laut Staatsanwaltschaft Rom österreichische Banken zu groß angelegter Geldwäsche benutzt. Laut ORF sind Konten bei der Bank Austria der Raiffeisen in Gebrauch genommen für diese Tätigkeit. So the Mafia has been using Austrian banks like Raiffeisen for money laundering on an absolutely huge scale, with the help of the very friendly Raiffeisen employees, one of which is pictured on this page. According to the Balkan blog, gefeierter Betrugsbanker kopierte das US-Mafia-Modell Herbert Stepich und das Raiffeisen-Bank-Desaster. Herbert Stepich was a senior banker at Raiffeisen. He was using the US Mafia model, and according to Balkan blog, he was a Hütchenspieler, vollkommen korrupt. He was a gamesman, completely corrupt, and engaged in some really shady business dealings. Die Presse is another leading Austrian newspaper, and they say, dienten heimische Banken der Mafia für Geldwäschen. 14 Konten bei der Bank Austria und der RCB sollen für einen Betrug in Höhe von 2 Milliarden Euro genutzt worden sein. Wien soll als Drehscheibe für das organisierte Verbrechen gedient haben. Yes, the Austrian banks are heavily involved in money laundering for mafia figures. And Austria is in fact a great center of activity for the organized criminal world. And in fact, the government has even confirmed it. Raiffeisen slapped with 2.7 million euro fine over lack of money laundering controls, says the Kiev Post. Because now the Austrian government has admitted that Raiffeisen is dirtier than mud. Austrian regulators smacked Raiffeisen International with a 2.74 million euro fine on March 30 over charges that the bank failed to impose adequate anti-money laundering and terrorist financing controls, which is perfectly true, as Raiffeisen admits. They claim that their service is bureaucratic or unbureaucratic. No controls involved, just help out their friends from the Mafia with their super-duper WhatsApp service. The fine is the biggest in Austrian history and comes nearly 2 years to the day after documents exposed in the April 2016 Panama Papers.